Hi, this is Eric Allen on behalf of Aileron. I recently talked to business consultant Doug Welsh about the unique challenges posed by a difficult sales environment. As president of Strategic Sales Planning, Doug has some timely insights on making the sales process more efficient, on developing a deeper understanding of your customers, and adapting to a shortened sales cycle. Aileron is looking at the current state of economy and specifically how small business owners are struggling with falling revenue. We're hearing basic comments, I need sales now, or things are in the marketplace are changing. Is it long-term or short-term? And I think the shortened sales cycle certainly gets on the tips of the tongue of many owners, but it may not be part of their process. What should owners think about when they're trying to achieve sales in a shortened cycle?
Well, that's really quite a big question, and there's a lot of moving parts around what drives a sales cycle. The complexity of a sale, how much due diligence is required, is there a legal process involved in when you start working with a client for the first time, and I think if we would maybe go back to the core of the issue, sales cycle is often defined by the kind of relationship you have with your prospect or your customer. If you have a very well-defined sales process, and if your sales process perhaps is objective-driven or phase-driven, and we fulfill each phase of the sales process completely and adequately based on an open, collaborative, partnering relationship with our prospect or client, I think we're going to be much more efficient in our sales process. For example, if we've got a three-stage sales process, and perhaps the first stage of the sales process is uncovering what the real need is. Obviously, we have to know what the need is before we can propose some kind of a solution, or before we even know how to present our solutions. So what do we need to do to understand the real needs of the client and completely execute on this first phase? Because if we're missing information, then when we go to the next phase or try to close and we've not covered all our bases, then we have to go back. If I was to summarize, having a very open, value-based relationship in the first place, and number two, knowing what we need to accomplish in each one of our sales phases and accomplishing those completely, I think those two together will make us much more efficient in the way that we work our sales process.
How should a business deal with jittery customers in this climate? Should they do anything extra or reach out to customers more, if at all?
I think that's a wonderful question, and actually it's a wonderful opportunity. When you have jittery or concerned clients, that means there's uncertainty, and that means that there's risk. And unless we understand where their uncertainty lies, and unless we understand where they feel at risk, then we really have no grounds to calm nerves or jitters. Right, so there's these moments of opportunity for very candid conversations, and that's when we can begin to partner with and collaborate with our customer base. When we can ask questions like, well, where do you think your business is going to be in the next 3 years? And what's going to drive it there? And some of those fears might come out. Well, gee, we feel as though our customer base is changing, and they might be changing away from the value that we're delivering. Well, that's a very valid, candid conversation to have with a prospect or with a customer, right? So
Yeah.
uncertainty is a time for very candid conversations, and it's about how can we help you deliver value to your customers. What do we need to look like to do that?
Just that, asking an owner and their employees to really dig in and find out where their customers' concerns are is something they might not be used to doing. Should they capture that any differently than they do the information on the sales cycle? Or should that be part of that sales cycle?
Oh, I think it is every bit a part of the sales cycle, and it's about developing a relationship based on value.
Okay.
And we often don't know we often don't know where and why we might deliver value until we can ask some very open and some very hard questions. And it is disconcerting. And sometimes it's difficult to ask hard questions.
Yeah.
But if we ask it in a spirit of, if I have this information, I might know how better to deliver value to you, or maybe I'm going to start focusing on my customer's customer, so I can start to walk around in their shoes. I can ask some very, very open questions, but it's a different thought process.
Yeah.
It's not about it's not about here's my product, do you want to buy some? It's about where's your business going, and back to value. How do I continually honor your customer by delivering value?
Great. Well, it sounds like refining your salesperson's ears might be the best place to start. That makes a lot of sense. Although a simple answer, not necessarily easy. Doug, I really appreciate the time today. Those were great answers, and you have a good afternoon.
Thank you very much.
As a working foundation dedicated to the success of business owners, Aileron has targeted offerings that can help you analyze your customer relationships, serve your customers more effectively, and align your sales with your strategic direction. Visit aileron.net for more details.